share my screen. Hi guys, welcome to our call. Tonight we're going to tell you guys, can you see my screen?
Yep.
And then, wait, good?
Okay. Yep.
Sweet. Okay, we are super excited today, guys. I'm so excited I can't talk. Because Jenni and I have been reading this book called The Go-Giver, and it was something that was brought up by some of the leaders. I think they actually talked about it on the National Wake Up Call, but Jenni and I were ahead of the ball, and we had already listened to it. But The Go-Giver is a really awesome book. It's a quick read if you want to read a book that's pretty easy, but it also has a really good message that talks a lot to exactly what we do as Beachbody coaches. So the difference between a go-getter and a go-giver is go-getters take action. You know, they're constantly pushing and pushing for things to happen, to make big changes. They're pushing for new customers and to find new ways. And go-givers make things happen. And we're going to tell you over the next few slides here how exactly a go-giver makes things happen. But it's really about putting more into the world than we take. The perfect world is a blend of both a go-getter and a go-giver, because we want you guys to be out there taking the bull by the horns, but at the same time, we want to make sure that it's still putting value into the hearts of other people. Did you want to add anything to that, Jenni?
Just that if you guys know that, if you know about our upline coaches, Mindy Wender's team, you know, we have Team Go-Getters that we're all kind of past Misfit Republic, we're on Team Go-Getters, and this book is where she got that idea. So, you know, there's some really good valuable lessons in this, and so we hope that you guys can really hone in and focus. And then after this presentation, hopefully you guys will want to go have a read or listen to it. Like the audio, it really is, I think it's about 2.5 hours, right, Lorelei?
Yeah, it's super fast.
It's so fast, and it's told as a story. It's told as this one man's story, and it's so good because it just goes, you can see it implemented into his learning and how it affects his business and his life and his success. So it's a quick read, you guys. You should really do it. It was so funny because we've had this planned for a few weeks. Actually, I think Lorelei even brought it up, us doing this training before Summit, and it just hadn't happened yet. And then, was it Katie that wrote about it was it Katie?
Yes. And we were like, wait, don't tell anybody yet.
Yeah. Katie just recommended it in the group just this past week while we've been working on this, and we're like, it's such a good book, you know, and it really is. And so, yep, it was Katie. And so I know she's going to get a lot out of this, and she's going to recognize some of the things that we're talking about. But yeah,
we definitely don't want
Hey, let's go get it.
We definitely don't want to replace the book. I think that's what Jenni was meaning. We don't want to replace the book because when you hear his story and how he implemented every bit into his life and how the unique way that he did it, I think that makes it take hold. And I think that's why Jenni and I have been so like, I don't know. It's really changed how I think. And I really consider my actions that I'm doing after reading that book. So we're going to give you guys snippets of it. And if you have pen and paper, take notes because it's a lot of great notes, but it is not meant to replace the book because the book is so good. And we listened to it on Audible. We both did, but you can get the paper book or whatever.
Yeah, we intentionally didn't put parts of his story in here. We just took the takeaways out of it so that you can still listen to the story for its content and stuff, and for the storytelling itself. It really is super well written. It's like, I can't emphasize enough what a quick read, quick listen it is, but it'll impact you because it's different than any of your other PD books that you're reading or that you've read. It's not like, hey, this is this and this is this. It's like you're listening to this guy's story and like you're getting involved, emotionally invested in it. And then you're going to hear things in this training where you're going to pat yourself on the back and you're going to say like, I do that, or like, wow, that's me. So I'm on the right track. And there's other things you're like, ooh, I could be a little bit better at that. So really take notice of both of those because you deserve to pat yourself on the back, but then also get some great takeaways.
Yeah, absolutely. Every one of these laws, there's going to be 5 laws. It's the 5 laws of stratospheric success is what they're called. And definitely, like Jenni said, consider each law and what it means to you personally and how you implement it or where you need to grow. So we're going to get started with it. The first law is the law of value. And that one is your true worth is determined by how much more you give in value than you take in payment. And I love this one. And I think this one is really simple for us to do as Beachbody coaches because a lot of our message is putting value out into the world, is making a difference. It's making a change for people when they don't have the resources that they need. So this one, I think, is basically the backbone of what we're doing, is providing a value to people. I mean, we talk about Success Club points, and we talk about, hitting volume and all these other things. None of that, I mean, those are all fun things to help us keep on track, and we should totally track those. But it's all because we're doing this, because we're providing value, and because we're putting good content out to people. So it's the desire to make a difference, not a paycheck. The paycheck is good. It's the reason that we have the time to take out of our lives and sit in our offices or on our couches, on our laptops, and do this. We need the paycheck. But our goal when talking to people should not be for the paycheck. We want to give people that VIP experience. And Andrea has talked a lot about this. I know if you guys are listening to the misFIT call, she has talked about giving them like the Nordstrom experience. When you go to a Nordstrom, instead of them handing you the bag over the counter, they walk around and hand it to you. It's so simple. It's this tiny little thing that they do that makes you feel like I'm valued here, and that person doesn't feel like I took time away from them. I remember we went to Subway, and we went through the line, and I forgot I didn't get a sandwich for my dad. And I said, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I forgot to order a sandwich for my dad. It's super simple. Can I order it? And they were like, and I'm like, I'm sorry that I'm taking up your time here. I felt like I walked out of that store feeling horrible that I had done this to a person, like that I had taken up their time and made them do a job. There was not a huge line behind me. There was no one there. It shouldn't have been a big deal. I left that store feeling like less. But if you go to some of these high-end stores like Nordstrom, you walk away feeling like they valued you. They respected you. It doesn't feel like it was about money while they're taking your money. And that's what we want to do for people. Remembering the details when we're talking to people and, we're forming and we're asking about their family and maybe their injuries and things like that. We want to remember, like when we follow up with someone, it shouldn't be, did you still want that 21-day fix? It was like, hey, we had talked about a knee injury. How's your knee doing? Did it recover? How did that 5K go? Remembering those little details is going to be huge for you for being able to give those people the experience where they do feel value. You're providing value. And then also one of the things with value is when I'm talking to them and say they want to get started with their health journey and maybe they financially can't get started, I want to give them free resources. I want to stay relevant for them. I want to make sure that, okay, well, here are a few different apps that you can use that might help you get started. You could do the calorie counting side. You could do this program or this system from Beachbody or bodybuilding.com, like the Jamie Eason Live Fit. It's not going to be as accessible as our programs, but I don't want people to leave me feeling like I'm only going to help them if they give me money. And that's the law of value. So in order to implement this, be super curious when you're talking to people. Ask a ton of questions, even if it's not in the script. Say something pops up and they're like, blah, blah. Say you do like, do you have any injuries I should know about? And they say, well, I hurt my leg on vacation. Oh, where'd you go on vacation? Asking questions a lot about that don't directly relate to a purchase will be great for them. We have provided customer and coach profile worksheets. I'm pretty sure they're in the misFIT or misFITspiration team page file section. If not, I'll check on there and probably bump them for you. But I've created these worksheets where you can fill out all these different nuggets of information for your coaches. And if you're a paper tracker like I am, I love pen and paper, you can keep those so that you have this paper to reflect on without having to roll back into your conversations. So use those to make sure that you're making people feel like they are at home with you, that you're a friend to them. Life events, make sure they're okay. Like say they had a baby or they had a birthday or a vacation or whatever, check in on them and see how they're doing. Things like that make them feel like they're valuable and not about a paycheck. The free resources I talked about. And then also providing value on your social media. Like how Jenni is really good at providing recipes for people, helping them find a healthy way. Like she talks about her Cheez-Its, that she can make healthy versions of Cheez-Its or other things like that she can give them a value because by following them, they get tips on how to do that, So make sure that your social media has a value to bring people so that they'll want to follow you. They don't just want to follow a sales ad. They want to follow someone that is helpful for them and their journey. All right, Jenni, this one's you.
The second law is the law of compensation, which says your income is determined by how many people you serve and how well you serve them. which also goes back to compensation is directly proportional to the amount of lives you touch. So my bullet points here say your value and your impact. It's in your control. So the value that you create for your network and the impact that you have on them once they are within your network or in your scope or whatever, that's all in your control. So you creating that content or you creating that personal one-on-one relationship, that is all in your control. So if we believe in this law that the amount of lives that you the amount of lives that you serve and how well you serve them is going to directly determine your compensation, then obviously that second bullet point there, the more success will be determined by helping more people. So if you help more people, you're going to have more success. Now, what you determine is helping them is hopefully not just selling them a challenge pack or a program. Helping them can be any of the things that Lorelei just listed, with giving them free resources, being there, caring for them, answering their questions. The best thing about this law is that there's no limitations on what you can earn because there's always more people to help. And I even wrote in here, like, how cool is that? Like, even as I say it out loud, like, that's so cool. There's always going to be more people to help. That's why it's so important to really grow our networks. And I'm going to kind of talk about that when we talk about implementing this and stuff like that. Another fundamental of this law is that anyone can be successful. I know that so many people start their coaching journey and they wonder, like, am I going to be good at this? Or they look at some of us coaches who've been doing this for a while and they think it just comes easy to us. And it's like, no, like, the funniest thing is on my time hop is looking back at my old ads from a year ago. It's like, oh my gosh, you know, it's like, wasn't that all over the training to not do that? And I still did it. You guys, newer coaches, you're going to do the same thing. Coaches who've been coaches for a little while, you've probably already noticed a huge change in your ads and in your in posts and things like that. So anyone can be successful because anyone can give of themselves. You are giving yourself first in this business, and you are closing a sale or creating a challenge or creating a coach second. We can share ideas with people we can help. Those people can then help others. So this kind of actually goes right into the fundamentals of our, you know, quote unquote pyramid scheme that we have going on here. You know, I say that very loosely, but I can sign 5 coaches and I can help them, but those coaches can then help 5 people each. And when they help those people, they're helping people that I have no idea who they are. I didn't go to high school with them. Danielle would never be on my team if it wasn't for Lacey, because Danielle and Lacey went to high school together. I never would have known Danielle unless randomly she saw a boosted post or we ended up in a group somewhere and I happened to build a relationship with her instead of the other 2,000 people that were in there. So by proxy, I got to help Danielle just because I helped Lacey. You know, and that was because I was friends with Lacey, and Lacey and I started a fitness journey together. So through those things, through helping one person, they then go on and help other people. Even if it's not in Beachbody, you guys, again, if you have been a coach for a while, I'm sure you've had people tell you, thank you for inspiring me. I have a really good friend. She's got just this huge entrepreneur mindset, but Beachbody is not her thing. It probably never will be, but because she's into fashion, she's into creating things, she's very creative. And she has messaged me more than once and said, your inspirational post, that she said, I love all your inspirational posts that you shared today, but the one you shared today spoke to me, and I got off my couch and I worked my business for the first time in over a month. And I was like, that's cool. Like, I was just trying to motivate my fellow coaches, you know, or somebody to get off their couch and work out, and she read it and it was what she needed to hear that day. So that was creating value, and that was me helping her, and now she went out that day and she moved her personal business forward, which is amazing. Another example I wrote Jesse, you'll see that on the slide right there. I have this guy that I'm working with right now. He really knows social marketing or social network marketing and like page and Facebook business ads and things like that. And him and I are working pretty closely together. I'm helping him do this beta testing, and you guys will all have the opportunity to benefit from that in the near future. But for now, I was speaking with him yesterday, and we were on a web chat together. And it's so funny because this was actually in this book as well, but it was the same thing when I was having this conversation with him. I stopped him mid-sentence and I said, Jesse, and when you guys go back and read this, you'll this part will stick out to you too now that I've told you this story. I said, Jesse, you know that my brain wants to know everything that you're doing and why you're doing it and how this works, and you're giving me this information. And you know that on Miss Republic, I'm known for this stuff. how do you know that I'm not just going to take everything that you're telling me and go tell my team without offering you the opportunity to present it to them? And because basically what he's going to do is he's going to present you guys the information, and you can just do it what you want. But then some of you will have the opportunity to hire him as a to do it for you, basically. But he's going to, as he says, he's going to give away the farm. He's going to tell you exactly how to do it. Some of you will know how to do it, and some of you will want to freelance it to him. Anyways, so I said, how do you know I'm not going to take everything that you're saying to me and go give it to my team for free? This is what I'm known for. This is my jam. This is my ish, you know? And he said, if that's what you chose to do, at least the information is getting out there. This is something that Beachbody coaches need to know, because there are people out there that need to be helped. And he's not even a Beachbody coach. His wife is, but he's not. He knows that we as coaches deserve this resource. And he said, even if you did that after our call today, or at the end of this, and you never invited one person to a webinar or anything like that, he's like, at least they're getting the information. And I was like, whoa, like that is the quintessential law of compensation. Because if I don't help him, you know, with his business, he's going to find it somewhere else, because he is putting good into the world. And he really, that proved to me even more that I want to work with this guy. And I want you guys to hear what he has to say. I don't expect any of you guys to hire him if you don't, you know, but the information he's going to give you is going to be valuable. And I just really respected what he said, and that he let me do that. Sorry, it's a little sidetrack, but I had to include that in here because it was, Lorelei, you know part of the book I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm, I do.
Yeah. So it's like, it just stood out. So anyways, decide to change your doubting beliefs. All of us have, and if you guys have been on our team calls before, or for a while, you hear me talk about the ick factor. You know, some of us, our ick factor is fear of success. We don't think that we're valuable enough or that we're worthy enough to be successful, but we are. And so it's getting past those fears, getting past the things in this business that we might not feel 100% comfortable with. Another topic that's brought up with this law is that we're taught to believe that there's rich people and there's good people, and that there's two different things. But this law tells you that rich people and good people can be in one. You can do good to become rich, and you can be rich and do good. Mm-hmm. So last point on this is what you focus on is what you get. So that, as far as the law of compensation is, if you're focusing on helping others, and you know that, like Lorelei said, you can't come in this business and be successful if your main goal is money. However, if your goal is money, to be successful, you have to help the people. So your focus needs to be on what's going to get you there. And the focus is the people, is giving of yourself and helping people. So all of this wrapped up, how we can implement it is manifest that ish. That goes to that, what you focus on is what you get. If you have a goal in mind, you need to manifest that. You need to sit with yourself and with your thoughts and think about making that happen, bringing that reality into your life and figuring out how you're going to get there. Free groups. This is another thing, kind of touches on also what Lorelei was saying. You know, we have clean eating groups. We have templates for organizational groups. We have push-up challenge groups. We did a Love Your Life challenge group, and then Mary just did a positivity challenge group. These things, you are giving value to other people without expecting anything back. But in the long run, because you're giving these things out freely of yourself, it's going to come back to you in an income stance at some point. Grow your network. Control your ceiling. This goes back to what I was talking about. More success is the more people you help. There's no limitation on what you can earn. As long as you're continuing to grow your network, you cannot cap out. There's no, oh, my warm network is capped out, because you're creating new warm network by going into a cold network. Enlarge the number of people you serve. Serve them in other ways. Valuable posts, concerns, caring, birthdays, whatever. This actually touches on the last thing that Lorelei said. She gave the example of me giving value with my recipes. So don't only be of value on Beachbody, or don't only be of value on fitness. Don't only be of value on nutrition. This is why we say have your 5 things that you focus on and your hobbies and things like that. And I really had to bring myself back around to food because I realized that that's what my network knew me for before Beachbody. So never let yourself lose sight of the other ways that you can serve people. Caring and concerning. Again, this is something Lorelei touched on, so I'll just kind of leave that there. Birthdays. When you get that notification on Facebook that says somebody's birthday, go to their page, you guys. Just write them a happy birthday on their wall. And I guarantee you, 90% of them are going to thank you for it. Or take it a step further and write them a personal message and be like, hey, I know your page is going to be flooded with birthday wishes. I just wanted to wish you a personal happy birthday. Like, what do you have planned? Boom, you've opened up a conversation. Even if they don't get back to you that day, obviously, they're probably going to be busy with their birthday. And then don't be afraid to look foolish or share. A lot of times, I think I was going to talk about this a little bit later, but I'll just go ahead and mention it now. A lot of times we're afraid to share a lot because we don't want to flood our Facebook feed with just Beachbody stuff or things like that. You have to get over that. Facebook is not set up to where everybody is seeing all of your stuff. It's just not. It is egotistical to think that you are being seen, everything you're posting, everybody cares about or is seeing. Put it this way. Facebook might show a post to 40% of your network each time you post, and it's not going to be the same 40%. So don't be afraid to keep sharing, and don't be afraid to look foolish either. When you put yourself out there, big things happen. And I'm actually going to talk about that a little bit later. So you can continue on.
I love it. And plus, I've had to, just tagging onto that, I shared a lot of my story in the beginning of my coaching journey. And then I thought like, oh, they already know, so I'm going to stop sharing it. And then Andrea sent me a message at one point. She's like, you have this transformation, not only just like the physical, but the personal too, and where I've come within myself. She's like, why aren't you sharing that anymore? And it's like, well, I thought they already knew, but you're adding to your network. You got to keep sharing. What seems like old news is new to other people. So
exactly.
Okay, law 3 is the law of influence. Your influence is determined by how abundantly you place other people's, it's covering, what is it? Interests above your own, yes. So focus on what you can give, not on what you can get. This is really great because say we have a network of people, so develop a network based on respect. So we have other MLM people that we're adding to our network, right? So you have, okay, so a good example is my steep tea lady, which Lacey knows and Danielle knows. She brought up the matcha too. My steep tea lady, I literally said, well, I'll just host a party because I want some tea. And we started this friendship not because I wanted her to become a challenger or a coach or anything. I actually thought she was probably lower on the list of people that would join in because she was already on a healthy move because of her natural tea things. But I just started helping her, giving her free resources, talking to her, helping her boost her business because she was brand new to network marketing. And through that, she was able to start building parties. Christina booked a party, this person booked a party, that person booked a party, and she sent me a thank you card the other day because I was the first person that trusted her to make it work. And you know what? Not only did she become a challenger of mine, but she has referred me to 2 other people that have also bought challenge packs. When we first started talking, that was not my goal. It was not my goal to like milk her dry of successful weights. It just happened because I was giving her resources, talking to her about social media, helping her in a way that demanded nothing back. And that goes down to stop keeping score. And this is one quote that comes directly from the book. When you base your relationships on who owes who what, it's not a friendship, it's a creditor. And it's like, when he said that, I had to pause it and think, like, how many times have you thought, like, no, I did that for you, you owe me. Like, how many times have you done that? And I'm guilty. I'm so guilty of this because I have thought, like, no, I've helped you before. I've done this for you before. Don't you owe me to do that? But they're saying here is that's not a friendship. That's keeping tabs on who owes who what, and that's not natural. It doesn't create a friendship that's based on giving. It's a friendship that's based on like, shoot, if I do this for her, she's going to expect something back. And that's not what we want. We want a network of people that really want to see us win. They want to see us come out ahead because they've seen our heart in this. They've seen us help and they've seen us be passionate. And because of that, they want to see us succeed. Watch out for the other guy. Make your win about the other person. And when I first started with this company, I remember Andrea sent me this message. She said, oh, so-and-so wants to become a coach, but I see they're on your friends list. Have you talked about Beachbody before? And it's like, wow, like we have, but you know, like not in the last 2 months, I think. And she's like, well, go ahead and talk to her. She's ready. I was so blown away from that in my first, you know, quarter as being a coach, because to me that was like, she could have that coach. She could add another coach to her network. What if that's a rock star? What if that's a big coach that's coming up and she just gave them to me? But Andrea did that because that's the spirit that we want to embrace. We want to have people that say like, you know, like, you've already talked to this person, go back to them. And she didn't do so because she wanted me to do the same. It wasn't because she wanted me to pass people on to her. She just wanted to do the right thing. And she wanted to make sure that our friendship and the value that we have between each other is on point. And so that's incredible. I felt so valued by her when she did that. So I would be more likely to watch her back knowing that she was watching out for mine. And that's the kind of network you want, is people that aren't like waiting for you to fall so that they can laugh. I mean, like, we're going to giggle, but we're also going to like help pick you up from the mud. But, you know, you want to create a network of people that will pick you up from the mud while giggling, not just stand there laughing and taking videos on their phone and putting it on Periscope or something. So if you place the other person's interests first, your needs will always be taken care of. It's this intrinsic need we have to care for the people that have cared for us. I mean, think of all of the people in your life that have gone out of their way to help you, knowing they would get nothing back. Don't you just feel like this desire to help do something big for them? Just like Jenni said about Jesse that she's working with. She's like, she got to feel his heart, and she got to see that he's not in this for the money. And for her, she's like, Jenni, don't you want so badly for him to make it? Because of that heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what it's like to create this network of influence where people genuinely want to see you succeed.
Yeah, because I was really skeptical going into, like, you know, I had to give him access. I had to give him admin to my like page, and I had to, you know, I was super skeptical going into it. And then that one conversation where I was just like, dude, how do you know I'm not just going to go? And he said that, and I was just like, do you want my bank statement too? Because now I fully trust you.
I love it. He is so on top of being a go-giver. It's incredible. I love that we have an example of someone who's actively doing this, and he's going to skyrocket in his career because he is so big on his heart. So implement.
And he sounds like Simon Sinek.
That's awesome.
I listened to it, I'm just like.
So is he foreign?
He's Canadian, but Simon's not. But
he has that French Canadian accent, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. You'll hear him talk.
Awesome. Okay, so how do we implement the law of influence? Network with other entrepreneurs and ask for referrals. Not ask for referrals. Refer people to them, and they'll naturally refer people to you, but don't make it, hey, I referred you someone. Are you going to think about anyone to refer to me? Like, say my steep tea lady. I have a lot of friends that drink tea. I have one girl from the UK. She's in the US now, but I said, you know, like, I know you're really into tea, and this lady has the hookup on the best tea. You should totally check her out. You know, like, by passing referrals on, like passing referrals to Brandy, my tea lady, she started passing referrals back to me. I did not expect it. She doesn't expect me to send people to her either, but that's what makes it beautiful. And we have this really cool opportunity to network with other entrepreneurs because we're in all those not buy-sell trades, but like work from home groups. I know how sometimes there's those liking ladders where you friend each other. Sometimes there's random people that all they want to do is add you into their group to sell unique makeup or whatever it is. But sometimes you get the opportunity to talk to some really cool people, and those are the friendships that I want you guys to hone in on. I mean, talk to them, ask them, you know, different tips on how they're making that post work, help them when they need advice. Alicia has a really cool way that she has done this. She went into a one of those groups for, was it entrepreneurs? Or no, it was a buy-sell trade page, Jenni?
It was a mommy page. Yeah, I did the same thing here. So I've got one going as well. So she went to a mommy group and said, hey, I know all my mommy, I know a lot of your mommy entrepreneurs. Let's get in a group together and we can help bounce ideas off of each other. What's working on social media, what we're doing, you know, things like that. So that's what she did. And I did the same thing here. I only have about 11 girls in there, but I share with them like things that work for me. And I'm not even getting anything really out of that group because it seems like I'm the most senior person in that. And when I created it, I didn't expect that. I expected people who were pretty established in their businesses to be in there as well, and I expected to be able to learn things, but I don't mind. I'm the one posting most of the content, and they're asking me questions, and that's good because, I mean, I get to feel valued by them, and I get to help them, and there's other girls who are Beachbody coaches in there, so even though we say we're not competition to each other, we're both local, so we do have the same cold market. But then I have girls who are selling other products that I do consider competitors because they're not Beachbody, and then I have ones in there that are just completely different brands, and I don't care, they're not competitors at all. But I'm helping them all just the same, and it makes me feel good to help them, you know, like when they say like, oh, that was a really good training, or like, thank you for taking the time to post that. It's like, it's the least I could do. I created it for my team anyways. Like, I might as well share it with them and just really support just us being in these hard businesses together.
Yeah. So consider opening up like a brainstorming group with other networkers. Taking Brandy, my steep tea lady, into consideration, I have started a mastermind group with other people that are like way outside of Beachbody. So we have other people in the group that are not necessarily competitors, but we get to bounce ideas off of each other, say this works for me, that works for me. And then we have this place where we can pass referrals if we have them, but there's no, when they are added in, it's not under the idea that they have to give referrals. So we're able to just brainstorm. So consider adding some kind of group or inviting people to some kind of group where you guys can provide value to other entrepreneurs. So this will give you an opportunity to really pay it forward. All this training that you guys are getting from the Misfit Republic website, which I believe is the strongest coaching, learning website in all of the Beachbody coaches. I'm just going to say that. I think it's the strongest. You know, we have all these resources. People are putting in so much time to give you guys resources. So let's share that. Let's not let it go to waste. So give those free resources, even to competitors. I've had some It Works girls that I've talked to, and while they are considered competitors, I think in one way that we kind of have two different things we're working on. I think here we're working on internal health and value and things like that, and they're trying to help people feel beautiful in that moment. It's not wrong. It's a different way of going about it. And so even those competitors, by being there and saying, giving them tips, I've had some It Works people come back and say like, all right, this is not working the way I thought it would long-term. How can I do this long-term? And so then we're able to work together, but it's not with that expectation in the beginning. Refer to original coach. This is important. I feel like Beachbody is built on this law of influence because when someone signs up as a customer under you, they are yours long-term unless they change. And they did this because they wanted people to be supported long-term on their fitness journey. And it has created this environment where we're not competing against each other. I know that there are instances where there are coaches that go outside of the Beachbody dynamic, but for the most part, all of us just want to see the people that we help succeed. That's what we want, guys, right? We genuinely want to see those people hit their goals, look in the mirror, and smile. That's what we want. And if that means referring to them to the coach they originally talked to, let's do that. Because I will tell you guys, 9 times out of 10, and this is not my purpose behind saying it, but 9 times out of 10 when I refer people to their original coach, they tell me, like, I really just want to work with you, partially because you helped me knowing that you would get no income out of it, but partially because we had created that relationship. But I said that knowing that they may not work with me. So I just wanted to make sure you guys say, like, refer them to their original coach if they've already had a Beachbody account. And offer to help them along the way, even if they bought off of Amazon or even if they bought it from a yard sale or whatever. Offer to help them. Offer to help put them in a challenge group, mentor them along the way. You never know who's going to come back around to you and become a coach. Like my coach, Megan, she's on the call tonight. She actually had someone lended her, I think, 21 Day Fix in the beginning, and she jumped into my challenge group. And I was like so happy to help her, even if she didn't buy it from me, but because I had that opportunity to help her, she already had the resources. Let's get it done. And here she is coaching. And like Jenni said, there's that ripple effect. She's helping people that I could not have helped if I did it by myself.
Okay, so this is the law of authenticity, which states the most valuable gift you have to offer is yourself. And this isn't from the book, this is from Dr. Seuss, but I had to put it in here. Today you are you, that is truer than true. Oh,
Right,
what?
Sorry.
You don't like Dr. Seuss?
I love it.
Today you are you, that is truer than true. There is no one alive who is youer than you. And that basically, I'm pretty sure if they had the copyrights, they wanted to put that in this, so that's why I put it in my training. But right here, it says, you can learn to close, but it means nothing without a personal touch. And what this means is you can watch all the training videos. You can learn how to talk about price objections for Shakeology. You can learn all these different things, but unless you are doing it with a personal touch and as yourself, it's not going to mean a damn. It's not going to mean a thing if you're robotic. We talk about scripts, but those scripts are as a guide to make sure you're getting the information out there. The script is like the meat of what you're saying, but everything else is what everybody likes better. Like, you know, I am a side dish girl. I am a chips and dips girl. You know, like I like the accoutrement more than I like the main dish. And that's what you're doing when you're building these relationships and talking to these people. So excel by adding value, and that value is you. It's yourself. It's your experiences. When people, like, they think that, and this is something that you learn over time. Like I said earlier, they think that we just have it easy or that we're successful because we have something special. We don't. It's all trial and error. It's learning how to talk to people. It's learning how to relate your experiences. When people tell me that they have baby weight to lose, my first instinct is like, girl, me too. Me too. Talk to me. Talk to me. I'm here for you. Like, that is my struggles. I never struggled with weight my entire life until I had my youngest 2 kids. And then it changed everything. And if I talk to somebody that I can't relate to, like sometimes people tell me, oh, I've struggled with my weight my whole entire life. I'll still relate to them. I'll say, you know what? I've never struggled my entire life, but I'll tell you this, when I did struggle, I can't imagine that you've gone through your entire life, just how I had to go through a 1.5 years of mine. And I just building that, it's like that compassion. And I tell them that. I'm like, I haven't been in your shoes, but the part of my life that I have, like, oh my gosh, like you have my compassion, you have, you know, whatever. So add that value by being you and showing them who you are, because they were drawn to you for some reason, whether they're a warm network and they're a friend or a family, or you're in your cold network and you're just talking to them for the very first time. We are here to sell you on you. That's mine and Lorelei's goal with this training, is to sell you on yourself. Make you guys realize that you are valuable and you bring something to your business that none of us can. I can't go talk to your network and close a sale any better than you can. You can do it better than me because you have that relationship. Click.
Oh no, she's frozen. I'll make blowfish faces at her. Okay, you're back. You're back. I think. Nope. Oh.
Am I back?
You're back. You're back.
Okay. I stopped talking because I realized it froze. So I think I stopped talking at we are here to sell you.
Wah, wah. Okay, you're back. We're here. We sell you on you. Go ahead.
Did you hear any of sell you on you?
Part of it, but go ahead.
Okay. Basically, we're here to sell you on yourself, to make you realize that you are what brings value. I can't go to your network and talk to them any better than you can. You have previous. Damn it.
Come back. Okay, you said you. You were saying you're the only one that can talk to your network the way you do.
Nope, it's cutting in and out.
You seem good now. You haven't
Okay.
cut out in a minute.
I'm just gonna,
You said you're the only one that can talk to your network the way you do.
yeah. So, and you're the one that's built the relationship with them. So I can't go in there with my experience of being a coach longer and just go to their network and sell to them because I've been a coach longer. It's that they've clicked the friend request button, or you're the reason. Damn it, did it freeze again?
You're good. Keep going.
Okay. I'm watching your eyes, Lorelei, to see if they blink. If they stop blinking, that's when I stop talking.
Okay, well, I'm on a 3-second blink loop.
Okay. So yeah. Okay, back on track. No matter your skills, you are the most important commodity. It is you. It doesn't matter if you are good at social media. It doesn't matter if you are good at racquetball. It doesn't matter. It's you are your own most important commodity. People skills is knowing who you are and what you bring to the table. That is your biggest people skill, is knowing who you are. And this goes back to what I was talking about before. Your 5 things, your 5 topics, your 5 interests. Knowing who you are is what is going to make you relatable, and those are your people skills right there. You want great people skills? Be a person. Be a person. Like, don't be a robot. Don't live based off of your scripts. Be a person. Be relatable. Be genuine. Example here. Uh-oh.
You're good.
All right. Okay. You were paused. Up. So I have this example of, actually it's not supposed to say sister, I guess it auto-corrected me. It's supposed to say sister versus dude, because if you've heard any of Andrea's trainings when she talks about things like this, and her branding, Andrea always says sister. She's like, hey sister, like, why don't you come check out this 3-day sneak peek, you know? And you just saw me say that, and like, how unnatural did that look? Like, it's so not me to be like, sister. Like, my sister, my literal sister, my biological sister says sister, but I don't. I say dude, like, and I say like. So for me to do what Andrea does and say, hey, where all my sisters at? Like, come check out my sneak peek. That's unnatural to me. That's not me. That's not me bringing my people skills. But if I were like, dude, you should check out what I've been doing. I really love it. It's like so awesome. You guys know I say my awesomes a lot, or, you know, amazing. So those are my words, and that's my natural verbiage. So like, I have their sister versus dude. Like, I would never say, where my sister's at? Like, hey, where's my sister's at that like to go get massages? I'd be like, dude, I need to get a good rub down. Like, that's my verbiage, and that's how I talk. How you talk should be how you present yourself in your ads and in your posts. That is 100% true. You shouldn't be wording yourself how I word myself. You should be wording yourself how Andrea words herself, or Lorelei, or any of the other coaches on our team that you follow. Authenticity, you guys. The good, the bad, and the ugly, okay? Be yourself, and be yourself 100%. I think I have it somewhere here. Yeah, I have it down there. I'll just say it now too. But perfection isn't attractive because it's not attainable. Even if we are striving for perfection, if somebody's watching you and you look like you have the perfect life, the perfect kids, the perfect marriage, the perfect everything, it doesn't seem attainable to the regular person. And who is our market? The regular person. We look up to celebrities in this life, and we look at like, oh, their life is so perfect. But we know it's not, because they're on, like, what are those trashy news shows? Like Inside whatever, you know,
Housewives.
Hollywood Reports. Like, no, don't talk crap on Housewives. That is different. That's my heat right there. Like TMZ, you know. So we know these celebrities' lives aren't perfect. So don't try and make your life perfect, because that doesn't make you relatable. Love what you do. See a need, fill a need. I got that from Robots. Who's seen the movie Robots? I love it. See a need, fill a need. Love what you do, you guys. We are so blessed to be in this business. I talked about it on my first slide. If you're here for the money is great, you guys. You've seen the growth potential. The money is so good. People are retiring their husbands. People are doubling their husbands' salaries. People are retiring themselves from the outside of the home workforce. The money is great. But that passion for the money is not what's going to get you there. We have to love what we do. Share resources, even if it doesn't benefit you right now. We've already talked about this, so I'm not going to delve into that. Apps, PD, knowledge, things that are working for you on our team, share them. It's, there's that whole thing I posted before, like, don't be like, to be a great leader, you have to be okay with having your followers or those that come after you shine brighter than you. Like, are you okay with that? I'm so okay with that. I cannot wait to be at a summit or at some place for recognition, and I am standing I will be in front of my coach because they are outshining me, because they're behind me at a higher rank. I can't wait for that, you guys. That is like, I will be in tears, not for myself, but for them. Just like, I'm sitting there at like 5-star and they're like behind me at 7. Like, I can't wait for that. It's like, it gives me goosebumps. It lights my fire inside because it lets me know I did something right and I gave somebody value. And like little things are like apps and PD and sharing your knowledge. We already talked about that. So how can you implement the law of authenticity? Take the tools and trainings and make them your own. Make them you. The perfect example that I have of this is that in our trainings that we watch, the Misfit Republic trainings, we see things like, oh, for your Shakeology price objection, you guys all know where I'm going with this, compare it to a cup of coffee, and that's in the trainings. That's what everybody's been doing. Cup of coffee a day, cup of coffee a day, cup of coffee a day. It's like, I guarantee you, Miss Lacey Stanowitz does not pay $4 for a cup of coffee every damn day. Does she go to Starbucks sometimes? Yes, she does. But she does not do that every single day. So if my coffee drinker friends, if I were to say to her, Shakeology is just like your cup of coffee every day. She's like, no, I make coffee at home. It's like 35 cents. It doesn't. And then what if she tried to say it to me? I don't drink coffee. Or said it to Danielle. We don't drink coffee. It makes no sense to me. So what I did is I put it on a spin. You guys have probably seen my training video on that. And I did it on a totally different sense. And I said, oh man, I wish that, they could just swipe my card every time I drink Shakeology every day, $4 a day. Like, I can handle that, but that big price chunk, that's, So I brought humor to it and I made it lighthearted because that's me. Lorelei always says when she talks about me, she says, I bring the joy. And so that's what, I try and bring that when I'm talking to clients and potential people. Like, I try and bring that joy. The other joke thing that I do when I'm talking to my new coaches and talking to them about how we reach out to people and sharing versus selling. You have people like in other businesses like ours, and they can write people and say like, hey, do you need some candles? Like, oh, would you like to try this mascara or whatever? We can't write people and say, hey, you looking a little chubby when I ran into you the other day. Would you like to join my challenge group? We can't say that. And that's a perfect example. And I say that to my coaches because obviously you're not going to do that. But it shows them the difference between that kind of marketing and sharing your journey and intriguing people. But that's something that I did where I took the training and what was told of me on how to train my people. And I took that and then my own personality and I intertwined the two and I get that point across in my own way. So that's a huge thing. Like I said, take the tools of the training and making them your own. Sharing nuggets of your story. Lorelei mentioned this a little bit where Andrea said to her, like, how come you haven't told your story in a long time and you think your network knows it all, but they don't? Again, because they don't see all your posts and you're growing your network. So on here, I have about me, like I was a hipster mom and I was a single mom when I had Bowie before I married my husband. I was like living this nightclub bar scene life, and that's part of my story. And when I share that, people relate to it, whether it's my people from that former life who now I'm bringing them back in and being like, hey, I haven't forgotten you guys, or it's somebody who lived a similar life, or it's a person who's a single mom and knows those struggles. Sharing those nuggets makes you relatable. I have on here Lacey with her coffee. So Lacey and her coffee is not her story, okay? You guys, we joke all the time. I've said on so many team calls about her coffee, Lacey and her coffee. But you know what? When Lacey shares her story, like, then people relate to the fact that she was using diet pills. Like, that's her story. People can relate to that. A lot of us have done that to lose weight. She was running her body into the ground. That is her story. She got to an unhealthy weight for her because she was overexerting and undereating. That is her story. And when she shares those things, her network is like, oh, damn, she's not coffee. Lacey is not coffee. That is what gets her engagement. When she shares those nuggets, it's way more important and effective, and her network relates to those little nuggets when she drops them. That is the difference. And then again, I already talked about being relatable, and perfection isn't attractive because it's not attainable. We want to show people what's attainable. When I make a post and I say, my husband let me buy the furniture, I'm showing people this is something little. It's not little. Buying furniture is huge. That's expensive ass shit. Sorry, this is being recorded. But, I am providing furniture for my family. Not that, my husband couldn't at all. That wasn't the case at all. But I get to do that. Like, it makes me feel so special. And that's attainable. If I just post a picture of Andrea's income and I'm like, look what I'm going to do in 4 years, people are like, that's like, I don't even know what Andrea's income looks like. Like, I don't know what that looks like in real life. But you know what I do know it looks like in real life? The fact that I'm sitting up on my new couch earlier tonight before I got on this team call with my feet up, and we're talking about how comfy this couch is. And we can do that and not have to worry about putting it on credit or things like that because of this opportunity. So I can share that with people. That's not perfection. That's real life. And anybody can get in this business and do that same thing for their family. So, and again, love what you do. And I'm going to talk about that more in closing, but I'll just leave it at that. That was a really long slide, you guys.
No, I love it. It was all really, really, really good stuff.
I blame it on the freezing.
Okay, law 5 is the law of receptivity. And that one says, the key to effective giving is to stay open to receiving. Without receiving, there can be no giving. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, this law was the biggest one for me. Oh, we're going to ask you guys what your biggest law was. But for me, being open to someone helping me, being open to someone giving me something, or, taking their time on me was something that it's been hard. It's awkward for someone to be like, hey, can I do something for you? What is your normal response when someone says, can I do something for you? What can I do to help? You know dang well you have this laundry list of things that you have to get done, and you are feeling those weighing on your shoulders. But the majority of us will say, nothing, I'm fine. I'm okay. I can do this. And in reality, we should be allowing people to give themselves to us in order for them to feel better about us giving themselves to giving. In order for them to feel better about our giving ourselves to them. Yes, that's how that goes. Accepting help or assistance from someone else allows them to feel value, a gift that is really hard to give. It is so hard to make someone feel of value to you guys. But when, like, Jenni is helping the guy, Jesse, that with the social media, she's able to make him feel valuable by accepting his help. He's not asking for anything in return, but he feels valuable because all these people are saying, like, oh my gosh, this is so exciting. I have all this insight on my like page and things are moving. He feels valuable because he's giving that. So be open, guys. When people are willing to give you things or to give you help, they're saying, like, how can I help you with this? It's so tempting to say, like, I got this. I'm so good. I don't need any help. And as moms, I think especially, not even just moms, but I'm just saying from my mom experience, I want the world to think that I have this under control. The dishes behind me that are just low enough in the sink that you don't see the pile, I got this on lock, right? But I'm just saying, like, we have all these things that we could use help with. Allow someone the opportunity to help you, and you'll be more willing, more able to give them help in return. It's something beautiful to allow people into that very vulnerable space of your own to let them give to you. This has been hard. It sounds weird to say that letting someone give you something is hard, but like my mother-in-law, she has been coming into town when I need to go on trips. I mean, like, we took our kids back home to the grandparents so that we could go to Nashville. In the beginning, I felt very awkward dropping my kids off to the grandparents saying, like, hey, take care of them, make sure they eat. That's weird. That is weird to me. I'm in charge of this. But I'm going to let it go. I'm going to let someone else help me. I'm going to let someone else make sure that they're eating that food throughout the day or sleeping or going to bed on time or whatever. And sometimes we have to do that. We have to give other people the opportunity to feel valuable by letting them help us. So this one's a short one because it's pretty straight and narrow. But in order to implement this, allow others to give you advice without, yeah, but. This one was big. Okay, so when I was doing the National Military Spouse Network, I was very into helping with that network, It helps entrepreneurs, military spouse entrepreneurs, whether it's from network marketing or anything. It helps them like get resources and training and all things like that. And we had our own summit through that. And one of the speakers that came up, he had someone come up on stage and he was going to give them one-on-one training for their business. He was going to give them brainstorming, and he literally, people pay him $1,000 an hour for his brainstorming. So people got to go up on stage. In order to be on stage with him, they had to wear a button pinned to their chest that said, "Yeah, but," with a line crossed through it. No matter what he said, they were not permitted to say, "Yeah, but I already do that. I already tried that. I already. They're not allowed to yeah, but him whatsoever. So when someone gives you advice, they are giving you a piece of them. They are giving you something that they have researched or they have tried. Like Jenni and I are giving you guys resources, and we love to give you guys resources. We like spend so much time giving you guys resources and studying how we can help you guys. And when we give you advice, my number one suggestion is don't say yeah, but. Allow us to feel like we gave you a little bit and see if like, okay, maybe I have tried this in the past, but maybe I need to try it again. Or maybe I need to go in with a different mentality with it. Just stop yeah butting. And when I saw that yeah but pin, I was like, wow, that's a weird thing to put on someone. But watching her struggle up on stage as he gave her advice and she was not allowed to counteract it with yeah but was big. So anytime you feel yeah but coming out of your mouth, allow that person to feel value by giving you advice. Accept assistance, business and personal. Anything like grandparents watching your kids. Maybe a neighbor says, "Hey, if you ever want, I can watch your kids while you get an hour of work done." Let them. Look at. Are you shaking your head? No, you have crazy neighbors.
No, because you said don't say yeah, but, and Lacey just messaged, okay, well.
Okay, any variation of yeah, but. I see you, Miss Literal. So, like, say a neighbor that you trust with your children says, "Let me watch your kids for an hour and let you do your business." Let them do that. Let them have that little bit of value so that they feel like they're of value to you. That way, when you have the opportunity to provide value for them, they're going to listen because you guys are in this relationship of bringing value to each other. Shout outs and thank yous. That's one way that we try to make sure that you guys see how much we love you and we see how thankful we are for you. Say someone like Andrea. I'm going to use Andrea. Jenni and I sent her a necklace. It was a Stella and Dot necklace with the arrow on it, representing of misFITspiration, because she is a big reason why we are all sitting here tonight. She may not be on the call with us, but she's a big reason why we're all here. So we sent her that, Jenni and I. And she posted a huge thank you on Facebook with a picture of it and of our cards and how it made her feel. And she accepted our gift, and then she gifted us back with this big thank you. And
she wore it all summit.
She wears it all the time. It's always in her pictures. I feel like so special when I see her pictures, and she has a misFITspiration arrow around her neck, guys. I feel so amazing because she accepted that gift from us, And so we have that opportunity to give other people value by accepting gifts from them too. Oh, you have the ring I gave you.
Oh, and the necklace.
Nice.
Bling me out, baby.
Oh, I love it. So this one might seem like a simple law, but for a few of us, especially those of us with blue or even white personalities, this one is a little bit of a struggle for us. And the colors, some of you guys might know, with different colors, you might struggle with different parts of this business. So keep an eye on that.
All right, and then just in closing, overall, the key to all success is building relationships and helping others. And then this next one, there is a circle effect anytime you reach out to consciously impact lives, regardless of immediate financial or personal gain. And I really wanted to point that out because as you saw in Lorelei and I doing those different slides, we were both focused on completely different chapters in the book. Yet you saw how many times Lorelei said something like, "Oh, well, Jenni already touched on that," or I said, "Lorelei touched on that." And the reason being is that these themes flow throughout all 5 of the laws. So it really is this circle effect of making this conscious impact on lives regardless of immediate financial or personal gain. It's putting out when you don't even expect something in return, and the return will come to you. I really hate to go here on a recorded call and on a team call, but it's the same concept in religion, in a church with tithing. It says, give and you will receive back, and just trust. It's like that whole, it's a universal notion. It's not just a church thing. I don't only bring that example up because I do go to church and all that stuff, but it is that universal thing of give out more than you expect to receive back, but you will receive back abundantly. Find good horses to back. This is something he directly says in the book. And I think that is a great thing to say. Like, find good horses to back. We always want to give out that energy and the focus and things like that. But when you find the good horses to back, and to me, the good horse is our business. Because through this business, we get to do all these things that we've talked about in this last hour. And I apologize, it ended up being a little more long-winded than we meant it to be, but really good information here. So find the good horse to back. And whether that's an up-and-coming coach, whether it's, just somebody who's struggling and you give them like those resources like Lorelei talked about earlier, just those free resources, just find the good people, the good horses, and be the good horse that somebody else wants to help and back up, and then, do you believe in what we do? I touched on this earlier. If you believe in what we are doing here and what we do within Beachbody and the lives that we're changing and the format and the platform that we have, none of this should even not none of this, all of this should just kind of be like a yeah, but. No, just kidding. Not a yeah, but a yeah, I get it. It should all just be common sense in the fact that you wake up every day and you believe in what we do so much that you want to talk to people. We talk about Success Club and we talk about hitting these goals. And the reason we talk about Success Club is because that is the foundation of your business. But more than Success Club, and part of the reason we changed it to, we call it the 3 Lives Club now, is because of this book and because of this theory of putting out more than you're expecting back, but you will get it back. The example of 3s, I put that here because when you have a good experience, it's always said that you will tell one person about your good experience. When you have a bad experience, you're going to tell 3 people. Now, what if we made that and we switched that? What if we took it as our personal mission to when we have good experiences with people, we tell 3 people. When we have good experiences with things, we tell more people than negative. It's so easy to get driven by negative emotions, and that's why it ends up being you have a bad experience at a restaurant, you're going to go tell 3 friends, hey, never eat there, never eat there. Oh my gosh, you went there? Oh God, I had a bad experience. But you have to have an exceptional experience, not just a good one, not we had a good dinner. It has to be above par for you to then tell your friend, hey, you've got to go check out that pizza joint over on 5th Avenue. It was really good. The service was amazing. If we take it amongst ourselves to switch that and talk about positives in the reflection at 3 to 1 negatives, like we would just be a more positive light and we'd be giving out more into the universe than we were taking, and we'd be boasting positivity instead of negativity. So that's my challenge for you guys, is to go ahead and do that. That's just something I kind of threw in there with the do you believe what we do? Because that's always in my mind. When I used to manage restaurants, it was something I always focused on, was that you had to give somebody an exemplary experience for them to tell just one person. And you only had to give them a subpar one for them to go negatively talk about you to 3. Anyways, so reflections. These are the things that we want you guys to answer. We can answer them when we get off of the recording, but we also, when Lorelei posts the recording, want you guys to answer this in the comments. So even though you're on the call, we'd like you guys to comment on it so that it encourages people who weren't on the call to watch the call and comment on it themselves. Which law comes most naturally to you? Really think about that. Which of those 5 laws do you think comes more naturally to you? Which laws do you need to practice or improve on? And then what can you do to become an efficient and effective go-giver? And then do you give of yourself only to receive? Which hopefully that answer is no, but we really have to think about that, because I can be honest, there's been times in my business where I've worked solely for personal gain, or I've, pushed for goals like out of selfishness. And, I've learned a lot from doing that. I don't suggest you guys go down that same path. Just kidding. Make your own mistakes. But yeah, so answer those questions in the comments, and we can talk about it now. Did you have anything else you wanted to add before closing?
I don't think so. I really, like, you guys can probably tell that we're really passionate about this.
Yeah, we're just rambling. How long has the recording been going?
I'm going to have to YouTube it in order to get it posted. It's totally fine because all of it is stuff that we have found to be really important for our Beachbody mission, but also for me, like just what Jenni said, I have had moments where I was pushing for a financial goal, and that ball can only roll so far because it's without momentum. And I realized pretty fast that I can do this, but I can only do this for so long. And by using these types of laws that we call them, you have such an ability to get this momentum rolling, where this is something that brings you intense innate joy instead of being something that takes from your life. This coaching opportunity, it's not something that's meant to take from you guys at all. It's not meant to take from us. Like, giving you guys training just like this is meant to make us feel valuable, make us feel passionate, but also to stir something in you guys as well.
I think a really great example that I'm willing to totally cop to right now before we end the recording is, I've said this to Lorelei and I've said it to Lacey. When I'm striving for financial goals, or where I'm thinking I should be making more than I am, you know, I've said to Lacey before, I'm like, oh gosh, you're on my strong leg. If only you're on my weak leg. Like, I've looked at the numbers. If you and your downline, your team does really well. If you guys are on my weak leg, I'd be making this much more a week. And I look at that and I realize, I'm like, that is not the right way to be thinking. And I've said that to her numerous times, and recently too. And, you know, I'll sit there and I'll dwell on it, and I'll think about that. I'm like, you know what? Like, stop thinking like that. Go to the girls on your other leg and help build them up. Ask them how you can help them. Be there for them. Have one-on-ones with them. You know, build them up so that they can be where Lacey's at, you know, when they're have been a coach as long or whatever. So it's not dwelling in what's not there. It's controlling what we can't and letting go of what we can't, or controlling what we can and letting go of what we can't, and just being present and helping all the people.
I love it. I hope you guys have loved this as much as we do. So we're going to stop the recording here.